Hello everyone, this is Aidan Vaughn and welcome to the very first live show for the National Timely Action Hour YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well today. And today I just wanted to discuss some points that I had written down and just have a general chat and see how you are all doing today. I myself am having a decent day. I filmed 2 videos that will be releasing next week. At the time of recording, it is well, I'm sorry, I'm so used to doing pre-recorded videos, but as you know, it's February the 27th, Friday, and here we are at 5 o'clock, if you, or just, rolling into 5 o'clock. So I hope you had a good work day if you have recently gotten off of work. If you are still at work and just saw the notification, you don't have to, you can just tune in to say hi. But yeah, I just wanted to try something new because I've never done a live stream before. Although I did try to do one, but it didn't really have, it was just my brother and I guess some other guy who were watching, but this is my first attempt at doing it on this scale. But the things I wanted to discuss, like I said, I wrote them down here in my notebook, are what I think Marvel Studios under, the Walt Disney Company should be doing following the release of the Avengers 6 Secret Wars next year, 27. So the first bullet point that I wrote down is that they should let Kevin Feige go and introduce some new leadership. Now, love him or hate him, Feige was there from the beginning to help get the Marvel Cinematic Universe off the ground and into the juggernaut is, pun intended, for the film industry. And hi, I see you tuning in. Hope you're doing well. I'm just discussing what I think the MC should do after Secret Wars. So let Kevin Feige go, bring in some leadership. That's not to say that Kevin did anything bad. I just think that we need new creative minds behind these movies going forward. And I don't know who, because I'm not a Hollywood guy. I just know that he's been in charge. I just think that if they bring in someone new, that will help boost, the creativity behind the cameras and in front of the cameras. The second bullet point that I wrote down is that I think that they should some of the actors. Now, we know for a fact that Tom Holland is going to be Spider-Man for at least a couple more movies, and I believe Benedict Cumberbatch is sticking around to play Doctor Strange. And obviously they just hired the cast for Fantastic Four, so they're going to keep them around. But, characters in America or Iron Man or even the Hulk should be recast, in my view. Again, I don't know who could play them. I'm not, the type of person who would say, oh, this guy played a similar character in this movie, so he should play this role. I just think it would be a good idea to get some new people. The next bullet point that I wrote down is that they should take a year or two off to really plan out the next stages of the MCU and really give the people making these movies time to breathe and relax and work on other movies or shows if they want to do that, but like let them take some time for themselves, because I know that the movie business isn't like a real job, but it's still a job that people take seriously, so let them have some time off. Hello to everyone who is tuning in. I hope you're all doing well, and please bear with me if there is any issues, because this is my first stream, so I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this. The next point that I really need to emphasize is that, you know, once you get all the new actors and you get all of the new stories planned out, that they should really focus on keeping these movies and TV shows close to the original comic books that these movies and shows are being based on, you know? Like, I know that they took bits and pieces of various different histories and that they made their own thing, and it's fine to have your own interpretation, but I would really like to see a more comic accurate version of Spider-Man or Wonder Man or any others that are being portrayed. And another point that I really want to stress is reduce the amount of movies and shows that they actually produce. Because as we all know, saying quality over quantity. So if you take, you know, 6 movies and 6 shows out within 1 year, you know, things do to get lost by the wayside in terms of quality control, and you know, not everything is going to connect as well. So if you just have 3 movies and 2 TV shows, that would be a lot easier to manage, I think. But let me read through here and see if there's any specific messages. I'm seeing emojis. Hello, everyone. And some waving. But feel free to type in the chat what you think should be done after Stars comes out. And if you're curious, the videos that I recorded today are a Fantastic Four comic book review and a Wonder Woman action figure review. So stay tuned for the next week. But if you go to my channel's page, you can find the link to my Patreon page, and it's free to see my schedule for this year and next year. Actually, no, I haven't uploaded my schedule for next year yet, but my schedule for this year is free, and if you feel so inclined, I'd appreciate as little as a $3 donation on Patreon, but you know, you get free posts as well on there, but that's just only if you feel like you would like to support this show. The best thing you can do to support this show is to subscribe and share with your friends. So I do appreciate that. And another thing I would really like the MCU to do after they start rebooting everything is, you know, maybe we can do a TV show or like a trilogy of these set during World War II of Captain America and Namor and the Human Torch fighting Nazis, and then we can follow that up in later movies and shows. You know, like they did do the Agent Carter TV show, which I really enjoyed, but that was set after the war, and that's mainly about the founding of S.H.I.E.L.D. So maybe something similar to that, but actually set it during World War II. That would be cool, in my opinion. They can also do like various different movies, like, you know, the regular Avengers in New York City. Then you get the West Coast Avengers in Los Angeles. Then you have the Great Lakes Avengers. I think they're based in Detroit or Chicago. I read Great Lakes Avengers, but I mean, they already, spoilers, but in the Wonder Man show, they introduced Doorman, who's a member of the Great Lakes Avengers. And in the She-Hulk show, they introduced Mr. Immortal, who's the lead of that version of the team. So, you know, maybe they can have Great Lakes Avengers TV show or a movie. And, you know, they could have like a slapstick comedy or, you know, a screwball comedy type take on it. Hey everyone. Um, Another idea I just thought of is maybe have a show that delves into, how various different uh, heroes, sort of like a damage control show, because they've been really building up damage control. So maybe if they do something like that, then it could show the effects of superpowered fights, which would be interesting. But not on like the level of Avengers 2, where there's an entire city falling out of the sky, but just the regular uh, Luke Cage versus Bushmaster fight where a storefront gets messed up. They can do that. And I do think that Charlie Cox is going to be playing Daredevil at least for a little bit longer. So um, I would really like to see him and Spider-Man team up in a movie. That would be really cool. And obviously, I'd love to see the Kingpin and maybe have Bullseye as a henchman for Kingpin. I know, or at least the leaks say that he's not be in Spider-Man 4 this year. So maybe in like Spider-Man 5 or 6. IQ, yeah, that is a good idea. But another movie that I could think that I could really see working is a team up between the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, because for the longest time 20th Century Fox owned the film rights to those characters, but they never had a team up, which never made sense to me. So if they made a Fantastic Four X-Men team up, that would be like a full circle moment for Marvel Studios. And obviously, I'd like to see them do team up movies with the Avengers and the FF, or the Avengers and the X-Men, and the Defenders and other various different hero teams. But that would be really cool. And you know, when I say earlier in the bullet point down how I want it to be more comic accurate, I mean that by saying that, you know, one character will meet another character, and then, two movies or two shows down the line, they team up again. They refer to that first adventure, and then they introduce someone to another hero. That's what I mean. And obviously have the comic accurate costumes and origin stories. But that's mainly focusing on, because one of the criticisms I have for the current MCU is how they don't really take opportunity to have these characters cross over. Yes, characters will appear in other movies and shows, but it's, just for 2 seconds. They're not an actual guest star, which is one of the reasons why the comics are so better, because they have an entire, issue or however many issue story arc where the characters up and meet. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Stranger Things. I've seen the first 3 seasons. I stopped watching that show about halfway through season 4 because I just lost interest. I haven't seen season 5, but I heard that it ended very poorly, which is a shame because it was such a big show. Uh, Another idea. If like a MCU DCU crossover movie, that would be really cool. Like have Superman teaming up with Spider-Man, or Batman teaming up with Captain America, or various different other heroes teaming up and meeting. That would be really cool. Like um, if they adapted the JLA Avengers story from, I think it was 2002, that would be really cool. Have you guys seen any of the new show? I watched the first episode and I was very disappointed in it because, you know, it had potential to be very cool with the Starfleet Academy, but they just did the modern Star Trek nonsense, and I don't like that. Which is a shame because the original series is so good, and I like some of the other shows like Next Gen and Space Nine, but after Enterprise, Star Trek really fell off. HP 900, yeah. Do you guys play Dungeons and Dragons? Because I recently went to this board game sort of K thing out of town for my uncle's birthday. We played D&D there for a few hours, and that was really cool. And they have these cocktails that are called health potions. I didn't try one, but my brother really liked. He said it tasted very good. If you guys haven't heard, I don't know if any of this is true, but it looks like Paramount Pictures is going to buy Warner Brothers, which sucks because, that's just breaking up. I I think when Scorsese was right by saying that cinema is dying because the art form of cinema has, been the greatest inventions in the last 100 years, but it seems like it's really falling by the wayside with all of these streaming websites and corporate uh, meandering, which is really sad to think about. Although there are more important things going on in the world, but I don't really want to get into politics or anything like that. But, that's just another thing to think about. I don't know if I'm going to keep this stream running for much longer because I just wanted to test this out since it is my first live stream. I did want to, I did say, I believe in January, how I wanted to do a live stream discussing this topic and, just say hello to everyone. But yeah, let me know what you think in the chat. How am I doing so far? And if you have anything to add to the conversation, feel free to do. Excuse me. But the next comic that I'm going to be reviewing after this upcoming video is going to be a Star Wars comic, which I really enjoyed. It's called Darth Maul, Son of Dathomir. It's based on a unmade script for the Clone Wars TV show, and the artwork is beautiful in my opinion, and the story is really good. So there's spoilers, but I'll go in an in-depth review for that when I film that video. But if you're interested in Star Wars or Star Trek or Doctor Who or DC Marvel comics or video games, this is the show for you because those are the topics that I discuss. I also talk about Lord of the Rings and Song of Ice and Fire, although not as much. But if these topics interest you, then this is the place for you on this website at least, because I like to make videos about that and have a podcast where I discuss that. So if you're interested, then please check those videos out. And if you are looking for my podcast, it's the National Timely Action Hour podcast on Spotify.com. I also have a separate channel on YouTube where I upload video format of the podcast. So you'll find a link to that on my YouTube channel's page if you are interested. And if you'd like to send me a message or stay up to date on my channel, then I have profiles on Facebook.com, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and Discord. You can find those links on my page as well. And sorry to keep shilling here, but I also have a merch store. So if you'd like to buy a t-shirt or a coffee mug with my show logo on it and our catchphrase, links also on the page. But yeah, I think that's all for this live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope bore you with my yapping. Again, it's just, me trying something new since I haven't done a live stream before. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.